Hello there and welcome to the English Riviera Film Festival show. And on the show today we have award-winning director Jamille van Wijngaarden. But before we interview Jamille, here's some clips from some of her films.
Goed, Lucas.
Ik wilde het even hebben over het incident van laatst.
Incident?
Met de logeerbeer. Vroeger kregen jongens nog een beetje de ruimte, maar tegenwoordig moeten ze alleen maar stilzitten, luisteren en plantjes verzorgen. Moeten ze eigenlijk een soort meisjes worden.
Een soort meisjes?
Maar ja, wat verwacht ik ook van een bijna bejaarde die compleet is vastgeroest.
Oké, dit was het. In de hoek. Ik zei... in de hoek.
So I'm very pleased. We've got on the show today two-time English Riviera Film Festival winner, 2 years consecutively. So Jamille van Wijngaarden, is that right? Who's a
Jamille van Wijngaarden. Yeah, it's a difficult name.
Yeah, who's a director of creative films and commercials on the show today. So thanks very much for joining us. But we always ask this question to open up with. What inspired you to get into the world of film?
Oh, that's a good question though. Well, when I was a kid, I always liked to draw comics. I really loved to make comic books when I was a kid. So that was my first experience with storytelling with pictures and just also jokes in it. So that's what I loved to do when I was about 10 years old. And after that, my dad bought a camera, just a little handycam. And when we were on holidays, we always wanted to make just a short, funny and also horror kind of film. And so that was actually the next step for me to make stories and to make funny things. And I was also inspired by the Blair project at the time, where I was about 10 years old. And you can make a horror film, what is worldwide famous film, with only three actors and a camera in the woods. So that also inspired me to just make films. And that, and then I went to go to the Film Academy in Amsterdam.
So I noticed one of your first films that you made for the Film Academy, you actually went on to win an award at the Prix Europe Festival, was a short film about Snow White. So how did that come together? Was that influential? There was actually not a Film Academy project. It was a kind of a competition. What I did with a friend of mine. He's a producer, and we did the same study at the Film Academy. And we really wanted to take part of this competition because there was the languages through lenses competition at the Pre-Europe Film Festival. And what I like to do with I have to think about what was the competition again. But you have to say that the competition was about a language institute. So the line in the end was, it's better to learn another language or to learn a foreign language. So about 2 minutes, a 2 minutes film. So I started to think about how funny is it if we use a story that everyone knows, for example, a fairy tale or Snow White in this case, and to change it a bit, then you can play with the expectations of the viewer, and that's what I like to do. So that was Snow White. Yeah. Amazing. So what has been important to you when you've been evolving as a creative filmmaker?
your films, the cinematography is amazing, but you're also very good with characters. What is anybody who inspired you to use that sort of creativity?
For me, I like to make stuff that's funny, but for me it needs to have some sort of message as well. And what important is for me is that as a film director, you have the chance to tell people something about life and about death and relationships or love or whatever. And for me, humor is very important. For me, that's an amazing tool to bring serious messages across. So that's one thing. And for me, also stylistic way of storytelling is for me very important, because I really want to create a unique world that's completely on its own. So it's not only the characters or the styling, but also camera shots, production design, sound design. And for me, the most funniest thing to do as a filmmaker, I create my own world, and that's part of it.
We can go sort of a bit forward in your career. So last year we really enjoyed Schools Out. It went down the tree. Everybody loved it. Obviously, it won the audience award. And one of the questions, and Grace Clifford is one of our judges, what was the response from teachers to the film?
Yeah, well, teachers loved it because there's something happening in the film that they always wanted to do, but it's of course a bit absurd. But I heard a lot of teachers. I've got some teacher friends as well, and they loved it. It's so they recognize themselves in those roles, and of course they were a big fan of the teacher in our film, that she finally justice will prevail. That's the line in the end. Yeah, so they loved it.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that.
It built so well. It was an amazing film. So, and Alex Small, one of our judges, asked, he can see elements of Edgar Wright in some of the ways it was shot. Who are the directors you enjoy?
Well, Edgar Wright is one. Yeah, I love his work, and I also love his visual comedy. He really can tell. He really can use comedy also visually. So not only in dialogue, but also with editing and rhythm and camera movement. Wes Anderson is also, I'm also a big fan of him and his work, because I think you can make an extra layer of humor with visual part of it, and that's what Edgar Wright does. So I love his work, and also I really get inspired by the films of Taika Waititi. He's a Kiwi director. He made his latest film was Jojo Rabbit, and he's always playing with humor and a playful way of storytelling with camera movements or a voiceover and a fast editing. So I'm really getting inspired by him as well.
One link I can see between you two is your casting is so spot on. How do you go about casting your films?
When I casting films or series or commercials, in a way, I love to how do you say that? I really like charismatic, eccentric faces. So of course I need really good actors, but I also like to have some eccentric faces or something what is a bit off, and it's also styling and makeup and hair, but it's the whole package. If you make comedy, timing is everything. So you need actors that understand comedy and understand where they have to pause or where they have to go on with their lines, and that's difficult. So you need actors that understand comedy as well.
Molly Mulpovey, one of our judges, asked, is one of the more sort of messy things, all the paint that goes everywhere in the classroom and schools out. How was it done? Was it filmed in loads of takes? Was it filmed in one take?
Yeah, actually, it was all one take.
Wow.
Yeah, what we did is the whole film is one choreography. So it was very important that we understand where she goes, what the camera is doing, where she say this and where she say that, and when she throws things. So yeah, everything was rehearsal without paint, of course, but with a Steadicam, with everything. And then you have just one shot that has to be right. So that was real cool to do, because the whole cast and crew was really focused. There's just one chance.
You were at Film Academy in Amsterdam. How did you go into more commercial work? How was your creative journey with that?
Yeah, well, after the Film Academy, I started directing TV commercials and series or television shows. And in the last few years, I also made some short films, of course. I did a VR film, Ashes to Ashes, and then the short film Catastrophe, and School's Out, of course. And I was, focusing on what I love to make. And what I love to make was create in our world, and that floats a bit on above reality. Highly stylized films, and I guess my interest goes out to comedy. So that was what was growing in. With my short films like Catastrophe and School's Out, they helped me further to not only for me as director to work on what I can do and what not, to learn stuff. But also School's Out, for example, gives me the opportunity to make longer stuff. And I really wanted to make a feature film. So all those projects in the last few years helped me out to grow. And show what I want to make and what I love to make.
What was it like working in the animated form for film Catastrophe? How was that compared with the live action?
Well, in a way, it's the same, because there are some characters, and in a way you have some casting as well. In this case, it was a cat as a main character, but the illustrator draws 5 types of cats, and I had to make a decision what kind of cat it was. Oh, wow. So a piece of this and a piece of that, and he has to be orange. So for me, that felt like a casting. And you're also working with a cameraman or DOP to make up your shots and your lighting, but it's all set in the computer, and that's of course the big difference. What gives more opportunities as well. So everything is possible. That was amazing, but it's also every frame costs money, because animation is very expensive. So in the whole process after the storyboard and the moving storyboard, there are the first kind of blocking phase, that's how they call it, and it's only just some gray characters were moving from A to B, and I have to make the decision if this is the shot and if this is the movement. So it's so simple. So just gray blocks, and I have to say, this is the shot I want or not. So it's a very different way to make decisions on a set or on an animation.
The thing I loved about that film, it was an amazing short film, very, very funny, very slickly edited. But you also got it to, it's like a filmmaker's dream. It got distribution for cinemas in the Netherlands. How?
Well, the film was part of, it's a cooperation with the Film Fund, the Dutch Film Fund, and Pathe, that's the Dutch film theaters. and they ask every year to send in a scenario, a script, and the best 4 are selected, and the best 4 animation scripts are selected by the film fund and the Pathe theaters to get money to make this. And part of that is that your film is screened before a massive blockbuster film. So that's cool because you have a big audience. And in our case, we choose Spiderman Homecoming. Catastrophe was just a short film before the Spider-Man film in all the Pathe theaters. So that was real cool.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And from your journey, so somebody out there, obviously we're on lockdown now, there's young children making films at home and things. Have you got any advice for people thinking about going into filmmaking?
Yeah, maybe it's a bit cliche, but also from now, everyone is sitting at home, and if you really want to make films, it's all about storytelling. You have to think about a great story and write it on paper, and just you can film a lot with your iPhone. And that's if I think back on my time, I was very inspired by the Blair project, what I said, and it's actually so simple. It's so cheap, but it's a brilliant idea. And only 3 people, the woods, and just a little camera, and you don't have expensive technique or lighting, cameras or drones to make a good story. Of course it helps, but it's not necessary. So use your iPhone, use small things to start with, and then you can go for the next step.
And but probably, where can we find out about your films and your work and see them online, and what you're gonna do next?
Well, I've got my own website. It's jamille.nl, JAMILLE.nl, and it will always update it with my projects and my new films, and you can have a look. And I hope to I'm working on a few future film plans and stories, so I'm working on that, and hopefully in the next 2 years I'm on the set of my first feature film.
Right.
And at the moment I'm working on a new kid series, and hope we can still shoot this summer, but because of Corona it's a bit we don't know yet actually, but it's a comedy kid series.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's been a very inspiring talking to you today, and I love the creativity and stories is key, and
thank you. Same.
Can't wait to see what you do next. So thanks very much.
Well, thank you very much for your interview.